We'll call to order the Banner County Board of Commissioners, Thursday, June 26, 8:30 a.m. Roll call, please.
Don?
Present.
Robin?
Here.
Lee?
Present.
Item 3, Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is in the back of the courtroom by the entrance. Would one of you lead us in prayer?
Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to serve the people of Banner County. Lord, make us wise stewards of their resources. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda.
Got any changes you want to make? Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? I think you probably both know why I added the storm damage,
Yep,
kind of
yes,
time sensitive.
Yes.
Hey, Donovan, I just got a message that said the link isn't live.
That would be a Ashley Taylor thing.
Hey, Ashley?
Thanks, Katie.
Yep.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Don?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Item 7, approval of the minutes, June 17, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of June 17, 2025. Any further discussion? I have glanced through these. They look good. Did you guys read them? I'm assuming numbers are all good and didn't go that far.
Good morning.
Roll call vote, please. Good morning, Kathy.
Don?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Item 8, public comments. The Banner County Board of Commissioners will receive public comments on items discussed at this meeting or suggestions for items of discussion at a future Banner County Board of Commissioners meeting. The board will not act and/or respond on comments presented on this date. Please keep comments limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comments? Everybody awake? Item 9, items of business before the board, storm damage. I put this on the agenda just so we could all get on the same page with the storm that hit Harrisburg. Granted, it could have been worse, but it was pretty devastating. Tim, did you make this copy?
Yeah, is that the, yes, I do so, yeah.
Thank you for that. This was mostly just to get us up on everything that happened. How did we come out with the roof? Anything?
What I know about the roof is J.D. Edens said that they put that roof on and it's still warranted and they will fix the issues that are causing the leaks for free. That's what he told me.
Soon?
ASAP.
Awesome.
Because I had Twin Cities scheduled and he showed up and said, hey, we'll do it free. Without any, my assumption, and I could be wrong, it's without obligation.
And you said, who was it that's doing it for free?
Fisher Roofing,
Fisher?
J. Edens. Is the one that called me. Did he talk to you, Katie?
Yeah, he came in and,
And that's kind of the gist what you got, right?
yeah, he told me that, they were the ones who initially did the roof. The roof was still under warranty, so he would come in and fix the roof for free, is what he told me, and I told him to call you because I wasn't sure where we were sitting with that.
And as long as they do it for free, I'm happy that happens. I can't believe it's still under warranty, because I believe it's 20 years old. And my guess is we'll end up redoing it sooner than later.
How bad are our leaks? Like, can we control those somewhat till, no?
They're all over, all through the building, and get up top, there's nothing obvious that where it's leaking at. I'm not a roofer, but, nothing jumped out at me, but there was a lot of deterioration up there. So that needs addressed, and that would probably take care of the leaks.
Well, his comment was the vents, it's leaking around several vents.
A lot of the vents are plastic vents, and they're broken. They're just a trash catch. But part of it over here, when you walk on it, that membrane has like a bubble in it.
Okay.
So it's separated from the roof itself. And then around the edge, it just deterioration. Where you can see where it's coming apart.
So what I have done in addition to that is asked both Twin City and Fisher to give us a written bid. And this is just a verbal request. What do we need to do to be exactly right on this? We'll have to take formal bids or not? Because it'll be
Depends.
60 or 70,000.
Well, your limit's 70,000 for informal.
Okay.
So
Otherwise, we have to do a sealed bid.
if they come back over 70, then you'll have to rebid it with formals and have them submit formal writtens, and we'll put it out for everybody to bid.
I know it's probably not going to hit 70, but I would still like informal bids. Like, they don't have to be sealed, but
Right.
if we could get some bids to look at.
Yep. You want more than two because there's lots of roofers.
Johnson Construction is doing a bid right now too.
Okay.
Johnson Construction, they came in yesterday and they said they'll get us a bid also. They're from Kimball.
Is there any interest in modifying the roof so that we don't have a flat roof?
I thought about that
You know,
as well.
I think it's an item we should discuss at probably the next meeting, which way we want to go. Because I don't think we can really do that today.
So maybe if we could get bids for both.
Both. We can ask them for
You know, because if they're close, then look at
Yeah.
it, fix it right.
I'm not sure most of those, like Fisher or Twin City, actually do that kind of construction, but they would know somebody that does. So
Yeah. Do you want to handle all that?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, if we could just get informal bids on those where we're up in the tens of thousands, I'd just like that.
Well, it would be really great. I don't know that we can accomplish this by the 1st at this point, but I don't see any reason by the 15th we can't have this done and taken care of.
Well, if we could at least get it patched, if they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
for free,
they need-
at least get that patched.
That's an
so that-
emergency.
Yeah,
And he
It's
said
really good.
they'd be out just as soon as they get here. So,
awesome. I want to comment too on when that storm came through, our fire chief Tim was on top of that, and the turnout on our fire department to help the people in Harrisburg get their windows boarded, plastic up. Tim headed that up. I'm not sure if Rob was out here that night or not. But the turnout was fabulous. This county helps each other in those cases, and it was really great. I think Blaine was home by 8:30 that night. They got it all boarded up and everything before that second rain hit. And thank you, Tim, for
yeah,
heading that up. That was,
Well, we had a good turnout, but we still worked about 3 hours here, getting everything patched.
yeah.
I'll have to tell you, I talked to a neighbor out here, and they didn't know it happened, and they came home and they were just, in shock. And went in the house and was trying to figure out what to do, and all of a sudden she heard pounding on her wall, and she went outside, and they were out putting wood up over her windows, and she just started crying. She said that she was so relieved and so thankful, and she's never seen anything, like the way that the neighbors or with,
Mhm.
everybody came together, so.
Tim headed that up, and the
Yeah,
volunteers
that
were
was
amazing
amazing.
that night. Everybody came in with what supplies they had, and they made it work, and that's just
That was cool.
awesome. So thank you, Tim, for that. And then I have Rob Crowder, he's our emergency manager, to give a report on the storm. I'm sorry, Tim, did you have a?
There was one addition on your paper there, since we're all in the same room. On the second page, on 20804. Needs a windshield. I just remember this morning.
Front windshield?
Yeah, the front windshield. And we had damage west almost to Long Canyon. And at least as far as Cashler's and Banner Feedlot, I don't know further.
It went over the hills about Hubbard's Gap.
Yeah, and then Bridgeport got hit, but
Oh, we got it. Oh,
on this, on the top where it says 622. We learned the last storm that we gotta code these storms. So all our timesheets are coded now with that code. So we go back and track them, track all our time efforts. And I called Rob, and Rob worked with emergency management. Really wasn't a whole lot we could do with this storm, but it was a good practice on how things come together. So we did find one other thing, but the shop building might need a roof. We had some more damage, but that roof is, who knows how old it is.
this one over here.
Yeah, 25 years, hasn't had, I think it might have had one new roof since it was built back in the 60s or 70s. The weed shed needs skylights put in, and I have the skylights, but again, I'm not a roofer. I don't know the proper way to put them in, so we might have to call an expert out to do that. That
Yeah,
needs
let's do it
addressed.
right.
What's that?
Let's do it right.
Yeah, that needs addressed. We got both windows put back in the shop, but there's windows in the weed shed that need replaced because they're all shattered. And we ran into another issue with our fuel system. Because power went out the entire afternoon, late in the evening, and High West did a really good job coming in and getting that restored. But when power's out, we have no fuel. So I know Zane wanted to speak on that because it affected him personally, but that needs rectified. I don't know, the generator sat at the shop or something, because that affects road department, sheriff's office, fire department, schools, and two of those are emergency services, so
When are you gonna need that?
yeah.
Because I got called out the night of the storm. I didn't know there was no power in Harrisburg, so I came into town because I needed gas. I can't get gas.
You have multiple tanks
We just have the one
for gas.
gas tank. I've got the fuel trailer, which needs a new gas tank because it was a used gas tank I put on when I built it. And it leaks now, but it has 300 gallon gas and I believe 500 gallon diesel tank. 110 powered, so it needs a generator to run it. And I built that so we can go set up a fuel station wherever we want to, as we need. But it needs a new fuel tank on it, and it needs a generator to power it, so you gotta put in some effort to make a fuel station, and for the sheriff's office or the fire department to go through that effort, it needs to be streamlined a little bit.
Kathy, would you mind working with Tim to see if there's any grants out there for a generator for the shop?
Yeah.
Just start that ball rolling and see if we can't get that taken care of.
Are you talking like a standby, like what the courthouse has? Or?
Yeah, something to run those pumps, because
Well, I think, personally, I think you need to be able to run some of the shops so you can get the doors open, closed, especially in the wintertime, or keep the heat on if we need to bring something in to
That's true.
thaw it
yeah,
out.
that's why I say work with Tim,
Yeah,
because
we
he'll
can-
know how big of a generator we're gonna need to run what we need
Yeah.
to have over there. Not that this was a good storm, but it could have been a lot worse, and we learned so much from this one to,
Well, the fuel stuff, we've had this issue, we have it multiple times a year.
Yeah, this is not,
It's not an isolated deal.
it'll come up. Winter storms, we deal with it a lot.
One of the easy solutions is just use this one and run an underground line out there. It's big enough to run.
It seems like when they put this in, Bob Post wanted to power the fire hall. And that didn't happen, so I don't know why that didn't happen. You remember, were you here?
No, that was just before the start of my time.
So I know that was one of his desires. For some reason, that could not happen.
It may have been a limitation on the grant.
Might have been that, yeah.
That's
That they
probably.
that would be my guess.
But I don't know. It'd be fairly expensive to do that. So what you need to do is figure out your load over there that you need to be able to
Yeah.
operate.
You two okay working together on that? See if there's a
try.
grant out there, I don't know.
Of course.
Tim would know how big a one we need, where
Yeah.
all the details, and then Kathy's good at the grants that.
Yeah, we could do that.
But
Tim,
Cheap way
any
to
of the
go.
pictures that you have, that you took with your phone, can I get those?
I've got downloaded to the computer. I suppose they probably should be filed a little better so you know what they belong to.
Okay, because John called me this morning and he said he needs, with you guys replacing the windows, he needs
I could
those
probably
pictures.
send an email
Okay,
with those pictures to you, but I better label them first.
okay, that's fine. He said, the claim is in, I got everything in,
Okay,
but he said if we could get that, then he can
yeah.
keep moving forward with it.
Is that John with NERMA?
Yeah, he will be out next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. If he can't make that happen, he will be out here the week of July 14th to look at everything.
But unfortunately, I did not take pictures of the shop windows. So I'll have to see if somebody else did.
I think I've got a picture of that too.
Okay. And the last hailstorm, we bought one extra window and I never put it in. So this time we only had to buy one window. I don't know how that's gonna do with insurance, but
He told me the deductible gets capped at 10,000. It's 2% of all the damage. So it'll be anywhere, it'll either be, it'll start at 2,500 and it'll go up to 10,000. But it's
Okay.
2% of the damage is what he told me this morning.
Up to 10,000?
some of that has already been repaired and get vehicles back in service. But using that 622 code, we can put that on the FIOs and.
The other thing he asked was the damages to the equipment, if that was just windshield or if that was just windows or if it was body.
Did you
also.
get?
I did.
We had body damage on three pickups. And I don't know what we're gonna do on that. And anything plastic, lights, covers, mirrors,
Okay.
and windshields on, what did they say, one vehicle, one pickup?
And he said 3 of the pickups weren't covered on the insurance because they weren't under comp and collision, they were covered under something else. He's gonna send me an email of which vehicles those were. So there's potentially 3 vehicles that won't be covered.
Okay,
Then we had one patrol car that was.
and one patrol car, that was the other one that had body damage.
And that's the new patrol car, I'm guessing. That's why it wasn't covered. I wonder why the 3 pickups weren't
Well,
covered.
it's on that schedule, you said.
The car is covered, the cop car is covered. He said it was 3 pickups from the shop.
Okay,
And I told him to send me an email to explain it and which vehicles. That way I could get it to you guys. Because I would have never remembered.
Again, I guess we need to get those 3 pickups on the insurance. I wonder why they're not.
They're on there, but they're not covered
For comp.
for.
Just like liability or.
Yeah. So,
They might be the older ones, maybe.
that's what I was thinking.
okay.
I can just say I'm really glad this is going to, not glad, but glad it's going to fall into our new budget. This probably would have sent me into an instant panic had it been a month ago. Awesome, sounds good. Thank you, Zane. Thanks, Tim. Rob Crowder, Emergency Manager, you wanna give us your spiel on the storm?
Yes, I don't have a whole lot to add. I just want to compliment the fire department and their mitigation efforts that immediately following the storm. That saves a ton of money on the backside. But the main reason I came down today is, everybody kind of knows about the storm, knows the path it took, size of the hill and all that stuff. I just want to see where the county was at on insurance on that, because Banner County has a fairly small public assistance indicator. It's like $3,100, but that's uninsured losses. The caveat to that is to be eligible for a disaster declaration at the state level, the state would also have to hit their indicator, which is about 3.7 million of uninsured. So I don't think we're going to get near that.
Does that include crop loss or anything?
It does not. No, that's just public property. Yeah, school districts, fire districts, of course, county, that kind of stuff. So any special districts would fall underneath that, but unfortunately, crop would not. And we've seen the crop damage is fairly extensive. So, but I just was curious to see see how insurance was going, see if they had come down or if they had a chance to talk to us yet and see how it's going.
Did you get those dates from Katie? Of maybe when that guy was coming?
Yes. Yep.
That was Joan, right?
Yeah, I went ahead and made an extra copy
thank
of those
you.
PA indicators just for the board, just aware of that going forward. Hopefully it's not something we have to exercise ever, but they are good numbers to know. And my first thought on your possible generator would be a hazard mitigation grant.
Oh, what?
A hazard mitigation grant through
Okay.
FEMA.
Oh, FEMA?
We'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of caveat.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of caveat with that right now, but
Yeah.
they fund a lot of generators. Another one that may be eligible, it's too late for this year, but going into next year, might be a local pet project. I know in Colorado they funded a number of generators for public infrastructure.
Oh,
So-
great.
So anything I see on that, I will.
Maybe we
shoot
can,
your way.
I can call you after.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome, thank you.
Yeah, no, the only caveat right now with the whole FEMA thing is where's FEMA going to be in October, and so, but that's a whole nother topic.
Okay.
No, I came down on Monday and did some, went around town, did damage assessment, and about 80% of town had visible damage. Some properties, of course, we couldn't go on to. I'm not gonna go on any property without asking permission first, but, bulk of that, unfortunately, is gonna be on the homeowner, or the property owner, so. At the moment, I don't see state or federal funds available for that, but I just want to see where you guys are at on that and see if we might need to push a declaration to the state, but it sounds like everything's covered, so
Yeah, I don't think we'll hit the 3.7.
I don't believe so. Not unless Nebraska has a rough week, so, and in the past, that's usually what happens. End up having to bundle them.
Katie is our insurance gal, like, she's our NERMA contact, so.
Perfect.
Anytime this happens before, she's your insurance girl to
Absolutely, that's great to know.
reach
But,
out to.
No, would you just shoot me an email when you hear back from the adjuster or whatever, and
Yep.
to see how that's going?
Yeah, if you would keep us all, like Tim and Zane and Rob and the three of us,
Sure.
when he's coming, just so
Sure.
we can do a walk around with him.
Well, and I guess from the fuel supply standpoint, or even backup power for the buildings, this is a good example of putting a narrative on a grant on why we need it. So, especially if it's a reoccurring issue, it's western Nebraska, we lose power. So,
Yeah, because I
they're
don't
really
know,
good at getting back on, but sometimes you still lose it, so.
I don't know a backup for that fuel within 20 miles of here, which isn't good. 'Cause that could be in the opposite direction. I mean, you're always welcome to get gas from us, but that's the eastern side. Day or night, we'll get you gas, but we're a long ways from
Gas
Harrisburg.
is Scottsbluff or Kimball is the only options we have. Diesel, there's other options. You can go east and west.
Well, we have gas at the feedlot. Like I say, we're happy to help day or night, but that's 20 miles from here.
Right.
We'll see what we can do about that. So, I know Scottsbluff County had the same issue not that long ago, and they were able to get some funding to resolve that. I really don't have anything else to add. So, do you guys have any questions for emergency management?
Grants, the county puts the money up first for the grant, correct? And then FEMA or whoever reimburses?
Typically, almost all state or federal grants do reimbursement. So,
Because we're looking at the budget, we're just diving into
Yeah.
that, so just
And I
keep that
would
in mind.
bank on at least 75-25 local match. But until we know where the feds are going with some of that, there was a time when you could get a 90-10. I don't know if we'll see that again or not. So I would bet on at least 75-25.
Okay,
Hopefully we stay away from 50-50s. But you're also not trying to power Scott's bluff, so. That helps.
true.
All right, thank you, folks. That's all I've got unless you've got any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Was I getting more in your storm?
Yeah.
It could have been worse, but,
Always.
okay. Well, we could have lost lives before total houses. So that's the good part, we didn't do that. All right, item 10, claims. Assuming you guys were good there.
I've already looked at
Do you have an expenditure report, Katie, that I can match to?
For June?
Yeah, to at the end of our,
Nope, I gotta close out June before I can print out a,
can you call Candace and have her walk you through that? Because we ran into that last year, and she walked you through how to print that so that we had it without closing that out, if you give her a call.
okay, yep,
And then scan and email that to us.
sure,
I'm gonna crunch numbers today, hopefully,
okay,
so that we got everything T's crossed, I's dotted, so that our fiscal year you can
okay,
be done with that,
sure,
I'm hoping.
sure.
You want some, Dawn? You feel left out over here?
it. I already checked them out.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
You were here early.
There's not very many, quite honestly.
No, it's pretty good. I looked at the totals and went, phew. I don't know why I'm passing them to you, I'll pass them to Leif. That emergency siren is ours, right? We came to that conclusion when it went down.
They do a monthly test on that, I
Yeah, I think it's like some Wednesday. And Josie Morgan is still working for us, Katie?
Yeah, so, we asked her to, so at the end, when we balanced last year, she gave us, some of the stuff they use to balance with their treasurer and Kimball. And we implemented that with here. And it's been helping, and then we asked her if she could double check our work to make sure that Kathy is doing things right and I'm doing things right. And she actually found some mistakes. We did, things are better, but there's some things that like we didn't do everything 100% correct, so she's helping us fix those. We are balanced, but we have, like Kathy has to do some journal entries and I have to do some journal entries, so the reports will show that we're balanced.
Is that before June 30th? Or-
Yeah, I'm hoping to get them done today. We worked on it, all week we've been working on it, and last night about 9-10 o'clock, we got balanced, and Josie made a report of everything, of the things that we need to fix. And she sent it to us on an email this morning, and, after we close this meeting, Ashley and I are gonna start, we're gonna get Josie on the phone and get things corrected, and then it should show in the current expenditure report when I close out June. And then we should be,
Because I thought the amount we approved to pay Josie was like $5,000 last year.
yes,
So where out of the budget is this 3,500 coming from?
Miscellaneous. The general 970 miscellaneous, and then the miscellaneous fund
Oh, I
out of
see it right here.
miscellaneous.
You guys good with paying Josie this 3,500? Do you have any questions on that? That kicks us up to almost 10,000 we paid her.
We didn't, last year, she only charged us 2,500.
I thought we paid something else along the way that kicked it up to where we approved the amount. And it's always come out of miscellaneous, we never made a,
So the 2,500 from the initial one came out of ARPA funds. So there was an extra $2,500 in ARPA that wasn't used as of last year, but that went into the radios. And then this one, we've only gotten 2 invoices from her, one for 2,500 and then this one for 35. And since the ARPA funds were used, that's why I took it out of the general miscellaneous.
you guys thoughts on that? You good with that? What are you two thinking?
Yeah.
How will we address that on the next year's budget? What would the need be with her going forward?
I don't think, I think we should be good. I'm fairly certain we,
So are we gonna need to put a line item into budget for next year?
I can ask Josie today when I talk to her, but I don't think so. I think we should be okay.
Okay.
I will double check to make sure, but I don't think we'll need to.
I don't understand that.
You put these up here, Donna. So you guys all right with this Josie one?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
comments? Here's the rest of the general.
There's the 2, yeah.
At least you're keeping them all square for me.
Zane, random question, do you carry the county credit card with you? Oh, okay. I wanted to be sure that you had one because you run 24/7.
Caleb and I both carry one
Okay.
for that very reason.
I had a question on the meals again. I thought meals were reimbursements. moving forward months ago when we made that policy, like they pay out of pocket for their meal, then they give Katie the claim less tips, alcohol, and tax. And then Katie makes them personally a check for the
For
meal.
the reimbursement.
Am I misunderstanding that?
I don't think so, no.
So we got one meal in here. I don't know what the road's got.
There's some that are split. I think it's a clean it up next time, next budget
That's what we
cycle.
said last
I
time.
know,
They've got to start doing it.
Yep.
Or why do we even have a policy?
right. I agree.
Zane, did you catch that?
The credit card policy says we can still use it for meals.
We passed I can't remember what policy it was called, on meals. You pay for meals out of your pocket, and then you give Katie the total, less the tax, less the tips, less the alcohol, and she'll put a claim through to you personally to reimburse you for the meal only. That was in
It's been several months ago.
October, November, we set that. And we keep paying these. So just a heads up, that's how to handle meals in the future. And I can't remember what the policy was called. Travel expense or something like that. Or maybe it was the credit card policy, I can't remember. There was a policy months back for that.
Now, on December 3rd, you made a motion to reimburse up to $51 for the day for meals.
I don't remember that one.
That's, well, the 51 is in the handbook, comes out of the handbook, but the motion in December, on December 3rd, was to reimburse for the meal, less tax, tip, and alcohol.
Right.
But it was just a motion. I don't think that there was ever a formal policy
Yeah, I have to look back, there
put
was.
together. I looked yesterday, I didn't see it. I may have missed it, but
I'm pretty sure we did. I'll look back. And like I said, can't remember if it was a credit card policy or not or what, but
So help me understand that. So if we made a motion to make that what it is that should mean that it's adopted and that's the way that we'll run it from this point forward.
correct.
Even if that's not necessarily a true policy change,
I think it's a procedure.
procedural change.
I don't know if it's a policy.
because
But
it's
we're not
a,
adhering
because it's
to
a
it, it's the
reimbursement up to $51.
But we're not adhering to it.
But they still pay for that out of the meals out of their
Pocket
pocket.
and then give
Then they give
reimbursed.
that to Katie, and Katie creates a claim to them personally for the meals only, up to $51 a day. So. May I still use, or
Yes,
are
you
you
may.
working your way
No.
down?
Go right ahead. I'm just trying to figure out why we pay so much for laptops.
So this fuel on Jay to go to Valentine,
I would assume he was in the county truck, probably didn't have a credit card.
I think he took his own vehicle.
I couldn't.
Eric went in the county vehicle, why didn't they go together? Everybody here carpools when they have to, and the county pays mileage.
Either that or they don't get paid mileage. You're right. Absolutely.
So I don't know if he was in his personal or not, I can't answer that.
I have an issue with that, because we've not paid anyone else
Fuel.
fuel to go to meetings. They all make adjustments to carpool. However that may be, and some sacrifice to do that. That's just my thought on that one. Because I think, Kathy, did you take your personal vehicle to Lincoln, was it, to a treasurer's training?
I did.
And you took that for personal reasons,
I took that for personal reasons.
right? And so you never submitted anything for gas?
No, just a
Mileage.
credit card, no mileage, just a credit card. I filled it up a couple times and that was it.
So we paid for your gas to take your personal vehicle?
Right.
But there was nobody else going but you?
No,
Well, Eric took,
and Eric took the other car, the county car, to Valentine. And so
What's that?
Eric took the county car to Valentine for the highway superintendent meeting too. And I said, that's fine. I would prefer to use my own vehicle because I have GPS in there and I could navigate downtown Lincoln better. So it worked out great that he took the county car and I took my car. So,
It's not mileage. It's just gas.
Right, you get either or.
yeah, it's the same, it costs the same as if I would have taken the county car.
The employee receives, they either.
and you use the county card for your
Right.
gas.
Right.
So that's the same thing that's this.
I don't have a problem.
He just didn't use the county card.
Right. I don't have a problem paying it if there's a good reason why it was used that way, but it should be something that we're looking at, the carpooling area. You know, it's really no different than the meal reimbursement and the other style of things like that. We made the policy, we created the policy, we said this is what we want done. If there's a good reason, then it deserves an explanation. And that's really where I'm at on the deal.
Where Eric went,
I understand. I don't know what their travel arrangements were one way or the
The
other.
interesting thing is that's like 10 gallons. So
It's not gonna get you to, it's not gonna get you there.
Diesel pickup.
like I say, it's not mileage, but however we do this is how we need to do them in the future, because you can't pick and choose. And we're paying Kathy's gas.
Yeah, but from what I understand, we don't pay mileage, and so,
Yeah, we do actually.
So the way that works
uh-huh,
is, it's kind of an optional thing. If the county pays for the fuel, for the gas, then the employee does not get mileage.
and that's what I chose to do,
If the
okay.
employee prefers mileage, then they pay the gas and they submit the mileage
Okay.
at the 70 cents a mile.
I was watching, can I interject on that, or am I not allowed to?
No, you
On
can.
that claim?
You can.
So when, I'm learning that whenever we do workforce trainings and stuff, we can submit that and get reimbursed for fuel, rooms, and even the trainings. So that's one of the reasons I did submit Jay's fuel. He did take his truck for personal reasons.
Okay.
He didn't wanna do mileage.
Okay.
But we did do fuel, that's because it should be able to be a reimbursable expenditure. So I was just watching that and I just wanted to clear that up a little bit.
Thanks for
So
that.
hopefully we can resubmit that to Jody Gibson with, I can't remember which place she's with, it's not L-Top, it's the other one.
She's with the state of Nebraska.
So if I take my personal vehicle to Connie, I can send the board a bill for the gas, but not mileage. Is that correct?
Or is it just road?
I'm not 100% sure on that, I can look into it. And Jay, again, I was just talking to him and he's like, you know, I submitted it because I thought we could get the reimbursement for it. He had no problem paying for his own fuel and mileage, taking his own vehicle for personal reasons. So
that's fair.
I just want to clear that up a little bit. That's more something that I prompted, so if I did that wrong, let me know, but I thought it would be a reimbursable expense.
I guess we needed more of an explanation on what it was, so that helped.
But
That
it sounds legitimate.
And I did.
Yeah.
Because I
Thank
didn't
you.
know what
Okay,
it was for. We
I just
got
saw it
banged
on
up
there and I
fuel.
was like, I think I'll just come clear that up a little bit, that's something more that I did for that portion of it, but
No, I'm glad you did, because I had questions, just
I did
needed
too.
clarified.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
thanks, Chelsea.
Yes, good idea, thank you.
Yeah, you guys good with this one?
Yes, based on our conversation.
Have you seen these, Lee?
I have.
Who got the laptop?
Eric, I would assume.
That was in the budget? I think we're good on road anyway.
Yeah, good there.
Aren't we good on road total?
We approved it on the last.
I think we'd have to hit like 30, 50 grand for that to change Am I right? Did you guys look at that? Last budget I sent out, it didn't have the last claims and it didn't have these, but I guess I have it right in front of me. I'm pretty sure we're good. I will get this caught up today and email it to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, road before last claims, this claim, there was a big, what, $27,000 one for fuel last round. But it's at 68%, so I think we're all right, don't you? I don't think $2,000 is gonna change that. I'm just thinking out loud, sorry. I don't wanna get down to June 30th and say, oh crap, we're over budget.
Do you have minutes and stuff, Katie? I'm just getting the minutes.
You guys approve.
So here's another one with the roads with meals.
Yep, it's split with the sheriff's
Right.
office.
Maybe we just need to send out a email to all the officials and department heads to make sure that's clarified, the reimbursement
We're
part,
gonna have to.
so that
we
they
need to
know
do
the
something
process,
so
so
it
Katie gets what
processes.
she needs.
Right.
It's in the handbook, I believe, but draw their attention to it so that everybody knows how to work this in the future. If you don't know, and the department heads can pass it down to their employees.
Right.
This one was like 30 something, it didn't reach the 50 either. These are 31 a day, so we're good there. This is our trailer.
Yeah. Sounds like a good buy.
Sounds like it. Tim called me, I don't know if he called you guys.
Put her in the back.
Here.
Answer. Missed the page.
Katie, do you know if Casey got the picture to Nabbit and she got that all squared away with you to run through before June 30th?
Yeah, they've been paid for over a month now.
Yeah, I thought I remembered them coming through, but I wanted to double check before we got to the 30th.
That's all taken care of.
Okay. And we're good on the FEMA money, we don't need to transfer anything there before the 30th, right? Okay.
I don't know, I contacted Kevin, the auditor, and talked to him. And asked him about it.
Just since we're down to the 12th hour, I wanted to make sure we were all squared away.
When can we transfer money back into the inheritance tax fund that we used?
Good question.
Anytime.
I don't think there's a set time period that you,
Do we wanna do it in the same year we use it, I would assume?
Usually that's why we transfer, just to get us
Probably
past
doesn't
that
hurt,
year into the next one.
probably doesn't hurt, but
And it's,
there, I mean, it's not,
Are you guys good with all these?
I am, it's an accounting principle, it would be something along those lines. As far
Make a
as
motion to pay the bills.
second,
you don't have, when you have it, and you can put it in there, you can put it in there.
okay.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the claims and pay on funds as presented. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Don,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Looks like Katie put
Someplace in the
yours just to be sure she's.
We need to decide what we're going to put into, if we need to make, if we're good with just sending that email, or whether we want to address it again as a board. That's really where we're at, you know, on getting the reimbursements handled right and making sure we're following the policies as intended.
Do you want me to look back and find that policy and email it to you guys so you can review it?
You can, I mean, if you want.
You said it was about when, Mark?
The motion was made December 3rd meeting.
We're giving you a few, Katie, just to make sure you have everything you need before we adjourn so that, since we're down to the wire. I'll look that up and email it to you guys. The reimbursement thing. Are you good? All right. Are you guys good to adjourn? Banner County Board of Commissioners adjourned 9:24. Have either one of you spoke to Casey as far as how many protests you've been getting in to see if we need to
No,
add
I
a date?
have not. That's a good point.
Do you want to hang for just a minute? I'll go
Yep.
ask her and see if we need,
I'll be right
that way
back.
we can schedule another day if we have to. I don't know where she's at on that.